I hear him. Come here. Do I hear him? How are you just gonna run away that quick? It was just a moment. Oh, there you are. Come back here. Come back here. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we gotta go get our lantern back. I done forgot where I put it, but we gotta go find it. If I'm not mistaken. All right, so this is where we fought them. Our lantern should be right there. Okay, look, I'm gonna get off for a minute. I'm gonna get the lantern, and then I'm gonna get back on. Can you take the lantern, please? Horsey. All right, fine. You want to be that way? Then we'll go ahead and be that way. Why is my stamina going down when you're the one that's sprinting? All right. Oh. Okay. All right. We really got to work on our horsemanship. Do you think anybody knows our little secret? I'm gonna take it that since no one's running.
Hello, friend.
Hey, I gotta go. Watch. This is where we're gonna get attacked by the wolves. God dang it, man. All right. There we go. We can take them out before we get to them. Thing is, you shouldn't be attacking me, brother. Then again, we don't know if they would have attacked. It's just that, we didn't steal that hunter's horse, did we? Well, I would kind of feel bad if we did. I mean, you think anybody notices the blood on our cloak? As a matter of fact, here. No, you calm yourself, okay? I don't need you to smack talk. There Oh, guys, got blood on it too. God dang it. But I think we prefer the black. When does it become our horse? Okay, so you can't open it on top, sitting on the horse. I think my understanding was you have to ride the horse for like, what, 2 minutes? In game? Yeah, 2 minutes. Not in game, but 2 minutes. Total time. And then it's yours. Is that right? Whoa. Come on now. Why you gotta be like that? Is the horse mine or not? I want to assume that I can't open the satchel if it wasn't mine, right? But look at it. It's just walking away. You know what? F it. Nothing, nothing I can do about it now. Whoa, what is this? What are you? What are you? Oh. I'm a little annoyed about the horse thing. And it is possible I just didn't ride it long enough. But gosh darn it, how long am I needing to ride it?
It's no fun getting pushed around all the time.
I bet. Just punch her in the face next time she's being mean to you. All right, so we turn in this, and then we got to go. We'll get another kill job, and then we got to go beat up that guy in Solitude. I forget how many actual quests you got to get done before they kind of.
Trust you're not planning any trouble.
Well, I am, but not for you.
No lollygagging.
Shop at my store.
Come, take a look at what I have for sale.
Treat yourself and your kin to a choice cut of steak or a tender rack of ribs.
Rise up.
Skjors, some people don't think I'm smart. Those people get my fist. But you, I like.
Okay. Hey, I've taken care of the
And
problem.
I've already received word that the client is satisfied. You have done well for yourself, and for the companions.
Ooh, I can maybe, you need anyone killed?
We've been hired to deal with some pests in Hjalmarch. Someone's got them riled up, and you need to put an end to it.
I don't know if I want to go all the way to Markarth. Isn't that Markarth? What kind of trouble should I expect?
Nothing but a bunch of lonely bandits. Cowards who will take little effort.
Alright. And, okay, Rotheim.
Excellent. Show them no mercy.
Alright.
All right then.
Nope.
Nobody misses that.
Right?
What can I do for you, friend?
Nothing. Are you drunk right now?
I think you might be right. Let me tell you, sobriety is highly overrated.
Well, you need any help?
Would you do me a kindness? I seem to be down to my last drop of spirit.
No. You really need to stop drinking.
Fine. Farewell, my lady.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because in truth, if you think about it, he could have just walked right over here like I just did, right? And grabbed the thing of ale right there. I mean, look at this. There's a bowl full of them. And nobody's charging money for them. Excuse me, can I have that apple pie? There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Oh, did I do that? Oh, there you go. All right. That's what I meant to do right there. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Common injuries. Hey, treat wounds. All right. Yeah, let's take that. Let's take that. Let's take that. Oh, we'll take it all. Don't mind if I do. That was very kind of you. So, oh, we'll take the salt. We need the salt for cooking. Look, hey, bro, look, there's a bottle right here. As a matter of fact, dude, there's bottle after bottle. Oh, we're going to take the coin purse. Look, right there. Right there. You just had to walk over and get it. Look at me. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Apple pie. Boom. You see? I wanted an apple pie. All I had to do is just goat cheese wedge. Look, that's all I had to do. Wait a minute. I'm in the mood for a salmon steak. Yeah. Look, I don't even have to beg anybody for one. Look, it's right there. Oh, a minute there, looked like somebody was passed out right there. All right, where am I? Where am I? Don't sit in here and wallow in your, what's the name, all right? There's a lot of stuff to be read in here. end table. I don't mind if I do. Ooh, I can take the steel warhammer. Do I have enough room? I sure do. I'll take that too. Sure enough, heavy armor insight gained. I appreciate that. I'm gonna take that because I can sell it. And one other thing. Oh, we're taking those too. Gracias. Gracias. And then I have a bunk waiting for me. And look at that. We can just go and all this stuff is rancid or stale. What in the world are you guys doing down here? Can I take that venison? Yes. Because I could put it to good use. Same with the coin purse. Same with the cheese. Oh, can't have that one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Let's take a nap. We're just taking a nap. Not even a long one. Just an hour. Just an hour. Holy cow. All right. One thing we do need to do, because I didn't see it in the menu, so we will do this. Okay, that didn't do anything, and yeah, it's not doing anything there. Come on now, what the F? You see, I'm trying to type in here, and nothing's happening. That's not okay. All right, let's try now. All right, what the fuck, man? Okay, so, all right, for the console not to work, that kind of tells me that either it's modded out or there's a setting when we start it up that gets, because how often do you see the console not work in Skyrim, right? And I got to be honest with you, I'm not on board with that. Not on board with it at all. Because it plays back into my whole thing about this is mine now. This is my playthrough, right? I have complete and utter control over it. No one else. And so if there's certain things I want to do in the command console, then I should be able to do them. No problem. You don't have a say in that. So, not okay. So that would be one of the strikes against. You know what I mean? So when you're like counting up or you're looking at and you're trying to assess how you're liking or not liking a list, that would be a big strike against the list. If that is in case, what is causing me to not be able to type into the command console. It could be any other number of reasons. I can't think of one. There's not one that I know of. So right off the bat, that's the assumption I have to make, is that was done on purpose, because normally the console would work the way it's supposed to. So why it doesn't work now, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. But again, that is a little above my pay grade as far as why or how it's the mechanics and how it's not working and why it's not working. Right? Because at this moment, in my opinion, it should work. It should work just fine. I haven't done anything. And again, I'm just not one of those people that will ever agree to or believe that the command console should not work, because I don't understand. Right? Now if we are I already read that. If this was an online MMO, okay, then that's a different story, right? Last thing you want is to enable people to cheat against other people. But like I said, what I do right here in my game is what I do in my, operative word, my game. So not like I said, not on board with whatever's happening with the console right now. And specifically, since going in here, I don't... Oh. Okay. So define her scene will make you... If you define her scene during 3, met by moonlight, he will turn you into a werewolf. I'm going to disable that. Well, one, I'm already a werewolf, so it doesn't really matter. Weapon skill needed to become Harbinger, 75. You need this level of skill to be offered the role of Harbinger. As long as the role of Harbinger isn't required for the getting rid of the lycanthropy curse, then that's fine. Blood's Honor will be started once this number of total Radiant quests are done. I don't know, and I'll have to research, because I might reduce these. And reason being is, the only reason I've joined the companions is to get rid of the werewolf thing. And if I got to run 24 missions in order to do so, that's just unacceptable. Especially especially if it's the Silver Hand, and I can't remember, and I'll have to go back and reread which quest line it is that allow you to get rid of the skill. So, um, again, in looking at some of these, right? I don't see like dynamic timescale, anything, like that. Sometimes that is something you have. So you do have end times, but that's not, you know, uh, controlling the time scale. Um, Me personally, I usually will set the time scale. So for Skyrim, I'll set it to 8. For say Fallout, I'll set it to 5. Right? I want my day. I don't want the day to fly by. And then I guess that's why I also am not a big fan of Time Flies, which is a mod here as well. But I don't see anything that yeah. Yeah, I don't see. What's my horse whistle key? H. Okay. So yeah, I'm not sure about the time thing. So am I having fun with this list? Not as much fun as I am or was having with Versum and Dragon Break. Those I think are just better lists, actually, in my opinion. Um, Here it is. Just want to see. Hiding compass hides. You probably want to disable this if you're running. Yes, definitely do. Auto hide after X second, 0 second, 0 to disable. Okay, good. Toggle effects. Toggle effects. Compass. I really don't want toggle on activate. Toggle key. All right, let's see. Okay, that did nothing. Let's get back here. What was it? What was the? I forget where I was looking at. Which one it was? Wasn't it up here? Gosh darn it. Horse whistle key, right? I know I was just looking at nope, that wasn't it. Immersive. God dang it. Yeah, I don't remember it now. I don't remember what I was in. And that sucks. Nope. Oh my god, I can't believe I just completely forgot what menu I was in to toggle the what's the name? Because I was right here, up in here, the horse whistle, immersive equipping. Damn, that sucks. That really does suck. Uh-huh. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't remember, yeah, at all where I was. That really does suck. There it is. Okay. All right. Let's. All right. X is not doing us any good. All right. Well, F it. Okay. So we got some loaded pouches here that we need to unload. All right. Wrong direction. So what time? It's almost 5 o'clock. So in the morning, we'll have to hit up a couple of vendors. We'll hit up Adrian. We'll hit up who else is a vendor here that has money? That would have money. Oh, Bellathor. And get some money for all the stuff that we kind of have. I think I'll hit Adrian up first because at least then I could go down. Now I think, and then and I should look at time flies as well to see if that has any impact on the time scale. Because what time fly also does that we have to keep in mind is every time we do something, every time we craft, temper, anything, time is going to pass while we're doing it, and that is also going to make our day go by much quicker than we want. Alright, there's a reinforced one and a steel one. Alright, and then okay. Some of this stuff I'm just looking to sell, so alright. Come over here. And alright. I do want to see. Alright, there we go. So we can make any of these. We can make a reinforced backpack. Reduce your stamina and magic up by 10 points. Seriously? But we can make these two if we had enough. See that? Oh, so they all reduce. Seriously? That's just awful.
I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Tending your own. Seriously, you just peckish. Here was 7 after 5. I thought I got rid of that eating animation. Obviously, it's in more than one place. It's the least we can do. We can make it better. Alright. We'll make one of these much better. I think. Yeah. Alright, Adrian's gone, so that means her day is done. Oh gosh, look at our face. We need a bath.
Need something?
No, that's quite alright. Thank you, though. Yeah, well, actually, I do need a bath. I'm like, I can't show my face. Hey, kiddo.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. I'm telling you, I heard it. Howling. Those werewolf tales are true.
I'd like to rent a room.
I'm sorry, that can't be done.
I think she won't
Need
rent to
anything
us.
else? Just let me know.
I think she won't rent to us. Not because we're companions, but because we're a werewolf. Even though she hasn't said anything.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs I ever learned. Ragnar the Red. Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade.
I've got my eye on you.
Okay.
But then he went quiet.
That does seem a little bit like racial profiling, though. What's up with that, bro? Was it something I said?
You talk and you lie and you drink all our mead. Now I think it's high time that you lie down and bleed. And so in slashing steel as the brave lass Matilda charged in full of zeal. And Ragnar was boastful no more when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
Okay, look at this. Alright. Blessing of kind, when werewolves undead, whatever. Clean. Cut on your wounds are clean. Open wound, cut on right leg. Quite bloody. Really? Alright, hold on a sec. Alright. Here, let's get that. Let's get that sorted. Following injuries you can treat. The following injuries you can treat, okay? Did it do anything? Can be equipped directly for quicker healing. Also can be used from treat wounds ability to induce squat.
Shaw's favor found me today.
All right, so
Together, our wounds to salve and weariness cure.
I don't get it. I don't get it. This whole
Yar's been looking for someone who ain't superstitious, though. Be looking for a fool if you ask me. Huh?
we are tired of waiting, Girder. It's been 5 days since your payment was due. Oh, okay. So we'll let her know. Here it is. Alright, complete. Find a way to treat your injuries. Go to a temple and read common injuries. We already read that.
The Jarls never
Alright, in recent days, the temples.
They just keep slipping
Alright. I don't. Alright, but I'm gonna do this again. Alright, fine. F you. Alright, we're gonna go here into the temple real quick. See if we can find that stupid book that we've already read once before.
Congratulations on joining this family of ours.
Thank you. You know what? I'm Balin. I'm honored to stand among the companion.
Honor is a fine trait, but for fresh faces like you, it's deeds that truly carry weight in your Vaskar.
Okay.
Prove yourself, and you'll earn more than lessons from us. You'll earn respect.
Roger
Now,
that.
do you have any questions?
Yeah, what are you doing later? Any advice?
Well, don't get Vilkas to talk about philosophy and history. You'll wish you never had ears. But seriously, just show some backbone and you'll fit in fine.
Alright. Alright.
All right, then.
We'll talk later. I got wounds to clean up, apparently. Okay, so yeah, like right here. Yeah, a lot of stuff does look kind of washed out. So the question is, what is the intent, right? And part of that is well, was it the intent for it to look this way, right? Do we think this looks better than what an EMB could do, right? Yeah, I'm back to that because it's important. It's important. It's like, what is, the mod author? What was their preference? What did they want to basically accomplish? All right, so we're gonna read this.
Make it stop.
But again, like I said, I'm not going to knock you on your preference.
Can hardly stand it.
And if that is your preference and, you know, this was how you intended it, okay. Unveiling shadows. Unwanted visuals removed. Okay. So there is a book, all right, see, that I've already read, but I'm going to read it again. Okay. The following injuries you can treat. Okay, so basically what it's telling me is none of the injuries that I have are treatable, is kind of the gist that I'm getting, right? Which I don't know if I accept that. Because
The fever. My body burns.
so, and if that's the case, then okay, that's the case. But clean bandages can be equipped directly for quicker healing. All right. So, did I just equip it?
Pain is so great. I can't bear it. Make it stop.
And I think in truth,
So sick.
this is
Can
kind
hardly
of
stand it.
like I've always been curious about the wounds mod, right? The mod wounds. But any attempt I've ever had of actually using it previously, I've always ended up just disabling it and removing it, you know, just because it's almost like if like the degradation mods, right? Sometimes they work, sometimes they do, but then sometimes what happens is it'll partially work. You'll get all the degradation and everything, but you can't, whenever you're trying to, you know, repair your items or temper something or upgrade something, next thing you know, you're just having all kinds of trouble and it's not working the way it's supposed to. And for me, that's huge. It's a huge thing when I'm sitting there and I'm basically jumping through hoops to get something to try to, you know, to work, and it isn't working the way I anticipated it to work, or it isn't working the way we, you know, it states. So what I'm looking at here, and then I mean, help me figure this out. So my wounds are clean, okay, right? I don't know why it's red then. If my wounds are clean, it's clean. And then it says I have an open wound,
My body
cut
burns.
on right leg, okay. And then it says quite bloody. You have blood all over you. You are no longer
Pain is so
sure
great.
if it belongs to you or your enemies, but it certainly helps intimidating those around you. You know what I mean? I prefer not to. But I don't see bathing as part of this, so it's just kind of like ridiculous to walk around with
Bear it.
all this stuff
Make
on
it
you all the
stop.
time. So I'm kind of torn in a sense where it's like, it's frustrating because I want you to work the way you're supposed to work. I want you to work the way you say you work. And that means if I have an open wound on my leg and I use the bandage, right? You said it works. I can use it directly. I don't have to actually use the the powers command. But then when I use the powers command, all you give me is this: the following injuries you can treat, and there are none. Why is that? Why can I not treat my open wound? And it that becomes kind of frustrating in a sense, and then maybe it's me. Maybe I didn't read enough, right? And fret not, intrepid adventurer, for this. The power of healing, medicinal alcohol is important to carry.
Hardly stand it.
So one might argue that pouring mead or wine on a wound is just as effective as using medicinal alcohol. The ingredients present, right? So I have medicinal alcohol. I have needle and thread, right? I don't have packing material. Bandages are one of the most basic yet most vital implements. Now, packing material is more than just what you would pack crates with. For an adventurer or herbalist, they are fresh and dry plants with natural healing properties. Most common of these are found in provinces are blue mountain flowers and hanging moss. I have blue mountain flowers out the yin yang. Doing so will lower your chances of an infection. Okay.
This isn't a good time.
So, we got that. Needle and thread. We got that. Flames.
You lost?
Wood is another vital part of any adventurer's supplies that allows you to
Keep
stoke
walking,
your campfire.
stranger.
And then, when splint and placed properly, as it allows you to, when split and placed properly, okay, create an
I
effective
trust you're not
splint
planning
for
any
when you
trouble.
find your legs or arms to be fractured or broken. Okay, great. All
Not
right,
sure you belong
so
here.
let's see what it says about open wounds.
I can't bear it. Make it stop.
Wrestling with wounds. I can already hear the more excitable adventurers groaning about needing to stay in city walls, blah, blah, blah. Of course, for starters, the time a wound may need to heal. Fractures, cuts, stabs, lacerations, or however you may wish. Cuts to the arms will find you swinging a weapon more slowly, while cuts to your legs will hinder your movement due to the nature of the wound, as well, blah, blah, blah. All right, the wound is clean. It takes time for her cut to heal, depends on its size and how it's treated. Small cuts may need 2 or 3 days.
So sick.
Okay,
Can
and then,
hardly
so
stand.
again, I got nothing from reading that book, to tell you the truth. But what I do get is now, and then I guess this is where I'm at. So you've given me all these things, and in truth, in turn, you have not given me any way to fix or to remedy
The fever.
any of these
My
things.
body burns.
I have an open wound, but I have no way to remedy or fix it. Right? I have blood all over me, but I have no way to wash it off.
Pain is so great.
And I think that is the frustrating part. That is the 100% on the nose frustrating part, is like, if you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be where it's like, well, if you don't know, you don't know. Well, that's stupid. If you don't know, there should be a way to find out. You know? And then specifically, like here, you tell me to go read this book, but it didn't help me. It didn't make my character any more knowledgeable. I still can't do anything with the wounds that I have. You know? I still can't do anything with the blood that's on my face. So sometimes it's just, you know, again, some mods, the effect and what they add, you know, has potential to be cool and a great value add, but the trouble, the addition, just the trouble and the hoops that you end up jumping through and the frustrations that it brings to you and it brings to the game makes it so that you're kind of,
What is it?
you know, like, well, it's not worth it. But you see what, like, so right here, what I'm doing is, I'm like, the only thing I can think of to try to wash the blood off. Yeah, let's just jump in a freezing cold pool of water to get this off of us. Right? And then here's the other thing. I have an open wound on my leg. Why am I jumping into a pool of unclean water to just wash the blood off my face? Doesn't it seem kind of contradictory? Well, I guess we can't. I guess we always had a place to sleep, so I didn't have to worry about sleeping at the end, to tell you the truth. Now, I do remember at my house over in Kynes Grove, I do have a wash basin there. That's great. And so it makes me wonder, why is there no wash basins anywhere else? Because at least I could have used that to clean my face and get the blood off me. And look at this. All right, so this one I can understand because it reduces your stamina, right? And same here, reduces your what's the name? So we still have the open wound. Your wounds are clean, and blessing denied. Okay, werewolves, undead, thieves, assassins, and those carrying Diedrich artifacts are not worthy of. Okay, so I don't think I've read that one clearly, but now that I know, okay. And then, like I said, does that mean that Hulda knows and she won't rent to us because of it? Look how fast time is flying by. Yeah, my stomach's growling too. I need to go get some food, or I have to go pick up my son. All right. So we got that. Let's do this. All right, we're well fed. We're carrying around way too much food. We can hear what's her name's story. Oh, okay. Get up, get up, get up. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. All right. So, so we have to understand that it could take a few days for the cut to yeah. So we could hear Ayala snoring, right? But isn't she in like the other room down the ways around, right? So we're hearing her through the walls too. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. You know, if I continue with this character, it would be to keep going and basically cure ourselves of the lycanthropy, and to not be a werewolf anymore. Um, reason being that we are a werewolf is because remember when we started the game, we started just a random thing, and unfortunately, the it was, you know, the game started us as a werewolf. So now we have to like undo what the game did to us. But yeah. And then so the list itself, um I'm not happy about the jury's still out on the wounds thing. It's again, like I said, to me, it's coming across as more of an annoyance, and I think partially because, and then maybe that part is on me because of the lack of immediate gratification or um, being able to actually do something about it right off the bat, or feeling that whatever I am doing about it is falling short and it's not rectifying the situation, right? I've got, so for me, it's kind of like I have a clean bandage, I want to apply it, but I can't. I have medicinal alcohol, I have needle and thread, I have Blue Mountain flowers on me, so I have packing material, needle and thread, medicinal alcohol, I have bandages. And then so in choosing, you know what I mean? So basically for you to tell me there are no injuries that I can treat, but then every time I look here, I've got, a cut on my right leg, and so it's clean, but it's an open wound, and also that means that there's debuffs associated with it, or probable debuffs associated with it. So I'm not pleased about that, right? Um Again, and then the thing with the command console, not being able to type into the command console is a major um issue for me. So that it's like if there was a mod in the game to adjust every single thing that you could do in the command console, then fine, right? Then I would have no need for it. But since there isn't, since there's not a dynamic time scale, since there's not a whatever I would want to adjust or change using the command console, then, you don't have the right to disable it, right? So now I have to go and try to figure out what is disabling the command console so that I can't type in it. And it could be me. It could be on my end. It could be that I don't have, well, I want to say it could be that, because I have a controller and the keyboard doesn't work, but there it is. Okay, now escape works, but tab doesn't, right? I can jump, though, with the space bar. I can walk. I can crouch, right? So it's not like everything is disabled. So tab, but T, look, I can wait, right? I can open my inventory with I. So the keyboard works for certain things. I can open the command console. I just can't type into it. And that's unacceptable. So, like I said, I have a long list of things, and that's where we get that. And then in truth, that's fine, because it's going to be that list, the pros and cons, weighing what you like versus what you don't like, and in all honesty, finding and figuring out if there's enough that you do like, that it outweighs what you don't. And I think just as I left off the last time, I really am I'm feeling like there's more that I don't like about the list than what I do like about the list. And so for me, it's now, and then the hard part is I don't want the fact that the game didn't randomly, but yes, it randomly chose to start me as a werewolf, and me, I don't want to be a werewolf or vampire. So, with that being said, so I'm trying to look at it objectively and say, okay, and try not to actually count that as one of the things that I don't like, right? And so that it doesn't weigh in on my judgment. But again, so I'm not liking the wounds mod as it's working right now. So no, I don't like that. I don't like the command console not working for me, right? I don't like time flies. I don't like that mod at all. But that's something I can disable. And I'm sure I could disable the wounds mod as well. Those will be a couple of things that I would disable. Other than that, so you can see it's not a huge long list of annoyances, but for me, those are major annoyances right now. So let's see. I'm looking because right now my mind is kind of drawing a blank as to all the things that I really just don't care for in the game, because it's like when you run across it, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. The helmet toggle mod, I actually turned it off. The immersive animations, I've so far been able to go ahead and toggle those off. Some of them off, but you can see some still are sticking around, even though I turned certain ones off. And then the fact that I have to go to multiple mods in order to turn them all off is kind of an annoyance as well. Do I like the combat mods? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that just yet. Trade and barter, I've never been a fan, and I think it's because of the pricing and what it does to the economy. I don't think it helps repair the economy. I've never been, and the reason I'm going to say that is I've never been on the mindset that by just nerfing prices, selling prices fixes a broken economy. Only thing because one, the premise behind that is you make too much money too quick, and that's why the economy is broken. I'm going to say that isn't why the economy is broken. That is a broken aspect of the poor economy in the first place, or the poor way that the economy is set up, but it's not why the economy is broken. And a classic example is like in Starfield, right? The one thing you do is you triple the prices of certain things and certain goods and services to make it more costly, and then you nerf the prices that you would get by selling things that you go out and collect. Well, the whole premise behind that, right, is, well, it's broken because when you go out and you kill 10 Crimson Fleet or 10 Spacers, and you take their suits, and then you sell them each for like 2,000 or 2,500 credits each, you just made yourself 25,000 credits. Well, yes, but nerfing them down to say 250 or 100 credits for each just means I got to go out and kill 250 Spacers as opposed to 10, right? And so I can still make the money killing the Spacers, and I could still make the money going around just killing things. Here in this game, I guess what it is this, right? The dynamic of what you're doing is the reason it seems like the economy doesn't really work. Because what we're doing is we're doing something out of the ordinary. We're out there raiding dungeons, breaking up bandit camps and things like that. That's not a normal thing. So you can't really apply like a normal economy to something like that, because you're out there, you're killing. I mean, how many people go out and kill 200 people a day, or 50 people a day, right? And then come back with all their stuff and then try to sell it. So the whole premise is broken, not the economy, the premise. Changing the prices of something or nerfing down the sell value of something isn't fixing what the actual problem is. The problem is you're out there taking out and destroying 50 people a day, pretty much. And no one's doing that. No one really. That's not a real thing. So it's like trying to view the economy as a real thing versus your activity in the world that you're playing in. Also isn't a, you know what I mean? It just doesn't marry up. So what you have to do is like, well, let's figure out a different way of viewing this, or a different way of handling and then here's the funny part, and this is ironic in a way, if you really think about it. So, one thing Starfield did that we immediately took away or changed right off the bat, right? One thing Starfield did was you can kill a Spacer but it's only that spacer is only going to drop this or that. It doesn't drop all of his gear. Doesn't drop his suit, doesn't drop his weapons, doesn't drop all of them. Might drop one weapon. You know what I mean? But it's not, but the game wasn't going to give you all of their gear. Well, guess what? you're not, you know, you're at that point, you're not getting, this 10,000 credit space suit to go resell somewhere because it wasn't dropping for you. So what do? We put that in there. We put in there, shades immersive looting, or, we toggled it in, we have a little game tweaks file that we could toggle. Hey, everything drops on a kill. So then we also make it so that, oh, by the way, we're going to make it so that we can change the carry weight so that we can carry all of this loot and bring it back. And then we get mad that we're rich too quick, which is kind of ironic in a way, right? That's the irony there, right? It's like, wait a minute. You're mad because you went out and killed 50, 20 spacers, and you're mad that you can now sell off their loot, and all of a sudden you got 100K in your pocket, right? And it's like, well, that just means, the prices have to be tripled and everything so that 100K doesn't mean as much. Well, I think when they first created the game, they made it so that everything didn't drop, so that you would have a harder time collecting loot or gathering enough loot to raise 100K. And we decided that was unacceptable. We want to be able to get all the loot off of them and loot and gear off of them. And then so now we're mad because we are able to sell this. So the way to fix that is, well, we got to sell it for less. We got to sell it way undervalued and break the immersion there, because this 8,000 credit suit will only, get us 100 credits back. And it's like, what kind of economy is that? It's like, no. So it's just like I said, it's just kind of funny in a sense that we do all that. And then again, we make certain changes, and then we say, okay, that change, and we don't identify what really happens there. And then we say, well, the game's broken, the economy's broken. Well, is the economy broken, or did we break it? And so I don't know, because what we've done really is we learn how to game the system to make as much coin as possible as quickly as possible. And that's the thing, if we couldn't make the coin as quickly and in the ways that we do and we figured out, then the game wouldn't be fun. We would not enjoy the game, and it would be a huge knock against the game. It's like, well, I can't make any money, and so again, some of these are like self-inflicted wounds, and we blame the game or the developers for these wounds. So Skyrim, the argument has always been there that the economy has been broken and there's ways that it needs to be fixed. But then I would say, well, the argument should be made is like that we don't fully understand the premise of the game and the narrative here, right? We're out killing every day. We're taking out bandit after bandit after bandit. They have loot. Their loot is going to be worth something. And yes, that means we're going to collect enough of that and sell enough of it so that we're going to make money very quickly. And the funny thing is, we have mods out there that increases the amount of wealth that the merchants have so that we can sell all the loot that we go out and collect off of the dead bodies of the people we take out. How do we rectify that? Well, one, I think probably reduce the amount of the actual amount of deaths, right? Instead of every time you go out and fight someone, it's a fight to the death instead of a fight to the point where they can no longer go on, right? And what do I mean by that? So I'm out there, I have fight these three, and if I'm able to disable them and render them unconscious or take them down, turn them into the authorities, whatever, such a thing like that, then guess what? Now all of a sudden I'm not collecting all their loot, right? Which would probably anger some people that they can't take all their armor and stuff off of them, right? But I could probably take some things off of them, but I don't necessarily have to take everything. But if I'm fighting until someone just can't fight any longer instead of actually killing them, then I won that battle. And that's where it should probably end. And then we just keep going that way. And now all of a sudden, I don't have as much loot to sell. Because the mechanic should be not just to kill, but to defeat and cause them to surrender or give up, or in some cases, run away. So the altercation or the fight, I won, and that's what I get my experience for, instead of getting experience for the kill. That should be a different situation. And also, maybe that's where there should be kind of a mechanic added in there. Was it a necessary kill? Was it a justified kill? Was it overkill? You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden it's like, well, he was defeated. You didn't have to kill him. And that should be a mechanic. That should be a thing. That, along with, okay, yeah, he's defeated. All right. Now, am I taking all those stuff and robbing him? You see what I'm saying? Now you start to get more into, and to me, that's closer to realism, and then it also goes with the whole argument that I make that if you want realism, you got to do it all the way, right? You got to get, you can't do it in just, okay, we'll do it here, but we're not going to do it over there. We're going to do it here, but we're not going to do it there. And then, yeah, we want to fix this, but the way we're going to fix it is just by nerfing other things, right? Or, and it's like, okay, well, that didn't fix anything. You just nerfed these, and then it just made it less rewarding in the end. So that isn't a true fix. So at some point, though, maybe that's where we got to get to. We got to get these games to the point where, hey, you talk to the developer and you say, hey, instead of just killing everything, why don't we figure out how to, I mean, sometimes, it happens, but maybe it doesn't have to happen all the time. And every encounter doesn't have to end with someone's death. maybe it can end with someone just being unable to continue. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, we can send somebody to the hospital. I mean, it's not much, it's not, but it's better. It's not much better, but it's better, right? All right. Or we can send somebody to, the infirmary of the prison. You know what I mean? And that would be a better outcome than, putting someone in the ground every single time and every single encounter. And then, like I said, the encounter goes until someone can't go. And, death isn't always the necessary outcome. So once we get that figured out, then we can start working on, okay, what is the reward system like? What is the loot system like? What are we taking or getting and trying to sell? But then at some point, it isn't, the problem isn't, again, nerfing one thing, the sell prices, and, tripling the buy prices, right? Maybe it's balancing out what actually does cost a lot and what doesn't cost a lot of money. And I'll use here in Skyrim, right? Armor. Does armor truly cost a lot of money? Well, steel, iron, plate armor should be very expensive. Should be. Leather armor, not as expensive, but buying armor should be expensive. Yes. But 100 for a plate of food? No, I don't think so. Right? Pelts and things like that, should they be very expensive to purchase? No, actually. Should they gain you a lot of money when you sell them? Not really. You know what I mean? Or traders and furriers or whatever, back in the old day, they would have been rich, right? So maybe the actual materials and things like that need to be in bulk to actually make money. But then, okay, so you say, all right, well, then I could just go out and kill stuff or buy the things I need and then, create my own armor and stuff and sell those. Yes, you could. But guess what? To create leather armor, it shouldn't cost you like 2-3 leather to do so, right? When we go to a forge and it says, okay, yeah, you need 5 leather to create a suit, leather armor. No. Then what is required is you need 20 leather to create a leather suit of armor. So you need more. So then all of a sudden it starts to make sense. Okay, yeah. Pelts, leather, all those pieces aren't as expensive as it is in the game, but the requirement, the number, the amount that's needed in order to create the items is more, right? So then you can, once again, keep the value of one thing to a certain point, and then the value of something else now makes sense, since it takes 20, 30, 40 armor, 40 leather to make this piece of armor, right? You need at least 20 ingots or 30 ingots to make this steel's, 20 ingots to make this sword. You need 30, 40 ingots to make this pauldron, or not, this plate, steel plate. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, yeah, that's why armor would be why armor is so expensive. And this would be also why it isn't something you can easily make yourself without a lot of effort put forward to making it. Because now you got to go out and get 30, 40, 50 ingots. And then somehow you got to be able to carry all those ingots with you and go back to wherever it is and make whatever you're making. And then you're only making one piece or two pieces at a time. Now, in an altercation, a fight, you might end up with a destroyed piece of leather, right? Because in order to kill this person, you got to break the leather. You got to break through their armor, right? So it shouldn't be intact. So it needs to be repaired. Well, now it's not as worth as much because it needs repair. And in order to repair it, the price of repairing, if you're going to repair it yourself, should be extensive also. But then you have to have the ability to do so. So make the ability to make the armor, to repair the armor, to temper the armor. Make that a little bit more significant to reach, right? Requiem almost does it because it, with the requirement of books in order to do smithing and stuff like that. But maybe you need to make it a little bit more complex than that, a little bit more stringent than that. And then again, like I said, so when you loot a corpse, the whatever they have is either going to be repairable or beyond repair because of what you had to do in order to get them down. And if you rob someone that's just surrendered, because that's what you're doing, you're robbing them, that should be frowned upon, right? You can take their weapons because or whatever, but you can't. You take their clothes, you're robbing them. You're robbing them of their clothes, right? Because you can't harm somebody with your armor. You can harm somebody with your weapons, unless you take your armor and throw it at them or something like that. So, again, that is how you kind of correct the economy, as opposed to, like I said, there's quick and easy ways to, but then you say, well, it's easier just to nerf the prices. Well, again, all you're doing is you're just taking the level list and saying, okay, it takes this much more items to make this item than what was originally stated. So you're just adjusting one list compared to the other. And then, so again, like I said, the armor and everything are worth more. But then, like I said, when I go to an innkeeper and they're charging me 80 gold for a bowl of soup, beef stew or something like that, that's insane. And then now we have to carry around hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of gold with us all the time. And then that's the thing that really needs, if you're going to nerf anything, is the amount of gold available to carry around, right? And then I'm not saying, okay, well, then you put weight on gold, because then we figure out ways to get around it. What I'm saying is the economy, right? Just like in the real world, the treasury just can't, well, they do sometimes, but it doesn't help just to go out and print more money, right? So that there's more money in the world, right? That's how you help the economy. No, right? So here you got so much gold. You should have really only but so much gold in the world. And then the other thing is, like I said, certain things have to be valued or priced at this tier and this tier and this tier, while the normal everyday stuff, right? You go to buy groceries, you go do this, should be normal tiered pricing, right? And then so when you kill a bandit, the bandit shouldn't have 100 gold on him, right? Now a boss might have 20, 30 gold or something like that, but a typical regular person, right, might And then that's when you get back to gold, silver, bronze, or whatever. Gold, silver, and what's the other one? Something coins, right? Now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this one costs, 2 silvers, right? Food should be, basically priced as like silver or copper coins. Whereas, when you start talking about gold should be something fancy, upper tier, things like that. Armor, right? When you go buy armor, yeah, you should be paying a sword should cost several hundred gold. I shouldn't be able to buy a sword that isn't. Yeah, so I agree that they should be a higher cost to it. But if I have a sword that I looted off of somebody, I should be able to get a reasonable price for it. Now, how do we fix that so that, yeah, all right, well, we don't want to get you, we don't want you to get rich quick by just taking out 10 bandits. You take out one lair and then all of a sudden you've got 20 weapons on you. Okay, you're right. But what merchant is going to have that much gold laying around that he can take and give you money for every single weapon? That's another thing that you have to fix and you have to accept. And then it's like, well, okay, so what we're going to do though, for convenience sake, is what? we're going to make sure merchants have more money on them, right? And then everything that you see, and there's a lot of these videos, and I'm sorry to go on this, and I'm going to get off my horse because we should be ending this. All these get rich quick schemes and nerfs and gimmicks and glitches and everything, you see that in these videos. They come out and they tell you exactly how to get your level ups and everything as quickly as possible, how to get rich as quickly as possible. And again, I always find it just a bit hypocritical to call out a game's economy and say how bad the economy is in this game when, you know what I mean, when you see hundreds of videos specifically explaining how to, get around the economy, or how to quickly get as much gold or credits or whatever as possible right off the bat. And it's like, well, we've got ways to scheme and to go out and do all these things, yet we complain about them. And it's like, well, the way to fix it isn't. So how you handle that? What do? You go out and you just nerf the sell prices so that, yeah, go ahead, kill all these bandits. Yeah, bring 200, weapons over here. We're only going to give you 5 credits for each, or 5 gold for each. You know what I mean? It's like, did that really help things? Did that really save the economy? Did that fix the problem? You know what I mean? Because the problem is kind of a couple of things. One, the mindset that's what we need to do. We need to go out and do all this so we can get as much money as possible right off the bat. The other thing is, it's like, okay. So again, it's like, if you want to go down the realistic route, figure those things out. And yeah, I talked way too long and too much on this. So anybody still here with me at this point, thank you. I appreciate you. Again, so you can see I come from a mindset and just a standpoint where I don't believe in nerfing and tripling the price, nerfing sell prices, doubling, tripling the costs of items as a plausible or reasonable or acceptable way to fix a bad economy in that sense, because it doesn't. What it does is, I feel that it penalizes the player for an accepted way of playing the game that we've all just gotten into, right? This is how we people, like I said, you see tons of videos showing you how to do this, how to do that, how to go out and get rich quick, and it's more kind of an accepted and kind of just a, and I can't think of the word right now, it's just kind of a way that we've learned. It's a learned response to gaming, right? This is what we do. This is how we do it. And like I said, the mods that I see to balance the economy as a result, just they fall short for me, because the general principle behind it, just I can't get behind, right? I can't, like I said, I just can't get behind nerfing, sell prices and tripling costs of items just to combat something that we need to actually sit down and figure out how to do better, right? And then again, we sat down and figured out how to make money quick, and then now that seems to be a problem. It's like we sit down and we figure out a way to do one thing, and then now all of a sudden doing it that way is now a problem. And so let's figure out a way to prevent that from happening, and then so whenever I saw or see comments that it's just too easy to get rich, and it's, well, okay, but I thought that was the whole idea. I thought the whole idea was to get as rich as you can as quickly as you can. That's a problem. So there you have it. Okay. Oh, it's late. All right. I've been at this way too long. Okay, guys, remember, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. All right. Peace.